ado tonight, we'll get started here. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Here.
Mrs. Coons?
Here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mr. Lance?
Here.
Mr. Timko?
Here.
Ms. Snyder's not present.
Okay. Ann's not here. Do we have a motion to excuse her?
I'll make a motion to excuse Ann.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Okay, let's stand and honor our country with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Some parts of this meeting are probably going to be pretty tough. We lost a great member of our community recently. Jimmy Lewis was an exceptional athlete at Springfield High School. He was a coach. He was a friend of many, family man. And one thing about Jimmy, he always supported this community. And we'll miss him a lot. And I want to ask for a moment of silence in memory of Jimmy Lewis. Thank you very much. Okay, we have a motion to accept the minutes of the council meeting on July 6, 2015, as presented and not read.
I'll make a motion to accept minutes of council meeting July 6, 2015 as presented and not read.
Second.
Any discussion or changes? All right, roll call, please.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Thank you. Motion to accept the bills presented by the fiscal officer for $158,685.33 as presented and not read.
Make a motion to accept the bills presented by the fiscal officer for $158,685.33 as presented and not read, please.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Any questions?
R&K Electric.
They replaced the soft start for the wells. We had one of the bad storms last month that knocked it out.
We already talked about that. That's the only one I have.
All right, thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Okay, then last, a motion to accept the June 2015 EMS deposit and activity reports as presented and not read.
I'll make a motion to accept June 2015 EMS deposit and activity reports as presented and not read.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Rich. Roll call?
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
All right, let's move into reading of ordinances and resolutions.
Resolution number 6610-2015. This is the third reading. A resolution reappointing John Brown, George Malik, and Kathy Kleiber for a 3-year term on the Lakemore Board of Zoning and Building Appeals. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Section 1, Council reappoints John Brown, George Malik, and Kathy Kleiber to the Lakemore Board of Zoning and Building Appeals. The term will expire September 3rd, 2018. Section 2, this resolution shall be in full force and in effect on and after the earliest period allotted by law. Resolution number 6612-2015. This is a third reading. A resolution declaring the month of August 2015 Kids Month in the County of Summit and encouraging the citizens of Summit County to join in this acknowledgement for the executive. Whereas we recognize the importance of early childhood care, education, health, behavioral health, family support, special needs, and early intervention. And whereas by ensuring good beginnings through early learning, we are investing in the future prosperity of our community, because high-quality early childhood education is a critical component of K through 12 success and is instrumental in cultivating a skilled workforce. And whereas the Summit for Kids Expo connects families with businesses, organizations, and agencies that focus on children's programming, health, education, activities, and entertainment. And whereas health and wellness programs strive to ensure that comprehensive physical and mental health needs of children in Summit County are being addressed. And whereas promotion and implementation of strategies through the Safe Routes to Schools program, Cribs for Kids, Safe Sitters, use of car seats and bike helmets to reduce preventable injury to children. And whereas we are committed to reducing infant mortality in Summit County because Ohio has the 11th worst infant mortality rate in the nation, and infant deaths in the African American community in Summit County are nearly double the rate of other populations. And whereas through the leadership of the First Things First initiative, we can make a difference in the quality of life, health, well-being, and education of children in Summit County. And whereas this council finds and determines, after reviewing all pertinent information, that it is necessary and in the best interest of the County of Summit to declare August 2015 as Kids Month in Summit County, and to encourage the citizens of Summit County to join in this acknowledgement. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio, Section 1, the month of August 2015 is hereby declared Kids Month in Summit County, and the citizens of Summit County are hereby encouraged to join this acknowledgement. Week 1, Good Beginnings, Early Learning Week, is focused on educational needs for children ages 0 through 5. Week 2, Family Week, emphasizes activities and events that are geared toward family engagement, such as father involvement, healthy life course model, family planning, and community services. Week 3, Child Wellness Week, will cover comprehensive child wellness, which includes mental health, physical health, blood screenings, diet, exercise, and oral health. Week 4, Child Safety Week, will encourage the uses of the Safe Routes to School program, car seat safety, and share information from Safe Kids Summit County. Section 2, it is found and determined that all formal actions of this council concerning and relating to the adoption of this resolution were adopted in an open meeting of this council, and that all deliberations of this council and any of its committees that resulted in such formal action were in meetings open to the public in compliance with all legal requirements, including Section 121.22 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 3, this resolution shall be in full force and effect on and after the earliest period allowed by law. Resolution number 6616-2015, a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the resignation of Barry Saley as chief for the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Section 1, the mayor and council regretfully accept the resignation of Barry Saley as chief for the Lakemore Fire Department, effective immediately. Section 2, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore, as Mr. Saley has started his new position. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Resolution number 6617-2015, a resolution authorizing the mayor to appoint Sean Parcell as part-time acting chief for the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Section 1, council confirms the mayor's appointment of Sean Parcell as acting chief for the Lakemore Fire Department, effective immediately. Section 2, Sean Parcell will earn $16 per hour and work no more than 20 hours per week. Section 3, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore, as this position must be filled. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Resolution number 6618-2015, a resolution amending Resolution 6607-2015 by directing the Board of Elections to place an additional 4.25 mil fire department tax levy on the November 3rd, 2015 general election ballot. Whereas the village currently has a 2.5 mil levy in place for the benefit of the fire department within the 10 mil limitation set forth in Section 5705.02 of the Ohio Revised Code, and whereas it is imperative that the village have sufficient funding for purposes of providing and maintaining a fire station and site thereof, fire apparatus, appliances, ambulances, and fire equipment, providing for payment of permanent, part-time, or volunteer firefighters and other emergency services. 4.0 mils of the levy will afford these. 0.25 mils of this levy is for providing capital funding for firefighting, paramedic equipment, and maintaining a fire station and site thereof, fire apparatus, ambulances, and fire EMS equipment. And whereas the village desires to enact and receive voter approval for an additional 5-year, 4.25 mil fire levy, and whereas such a levy is authorized by sections 5705.19I and 5705.03 of the Ohio Revised Code. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio, Section 1, that it is hereby found, determined, and declared that it is imperative that the village have sufficient funding for purposes of providing for payment of permanent, part-time, or volunteer firefighters and other emergency services. 4.0 mils of the levy will afford these. 0.25 mils of this levy is for providing capital funding for firefighting, paramedic equipment, and maintaining a fire station and site thereof, fire apparatus, ambulances, and fire EMS equipment. An amount of taxes which may be raised by the village within the 10 mil limitation set forth in section 5705.02 of the Ohio Revised Code is and will be insufficient to provide for the necessary requirements of the village. The Village of Lakemore currently has a levy in place for the benefit of the fire department. Section 3, that based upon the above, the village desires to add a 5-year levy in the amount of 4.25 mils for every dollar evaluation. Section 4, that the additional 4.25 mil levy would be for the purpose of providing for payment of permanent, part-time, or volunteer firefighters and other emergency services. 0.25 mils of this levy is for providing capital funding for firefighting, paramedic equipment, and maintaining a fire station and site thereof, fire apparatus, ambulances, and fire EMS equipment, and is authorized by and pursuant to sections 5705.19I and 5705.03 of the Ohio Revised Code. Section 5, that the question of levying the additional tax be submitted to the electors of the village at the general election to be held at the usual voting places within the village on the 3rd day of November 2015. Section 6, that the levy be placed on the tax list for the entire 2015 tax year and years beyond and be first collected starting January 1st, 2016. Section 7, that the fiscal officer of the village be and is hereby directed to certify a copy of this resolution to the Board of Elections of Summit County, Ohio, along with the certificate of estimated property tax revenue provided to the village by Summit County fiscal officer, and notify said board to cause notice of the election on the question of levying the additional tax to be given as required by law. Section 8, that the form of the ballot to be cast at the election on the question of said additional tax levy shall be as authorized by the Secretary of State and/or Board of Elections, but substantially as follows. Additional tax levy, Village of Lakemore. A majority affirmative vote is necessary for passage. An additional 4.25 mil levy for the benefit of the Village of Lakemore for the purpose of providing for payment of permanent, part-time, or volunteer firefighters and other emergency services. 0.25 mils of this levy is for providing capital funding for firefighting, paramedic equipment, and maintaining a fire station and site thereof, fire apparatus, ambulances, and fire EMS equipment. If approved, that tax would be levied in 2015 for first collection in calendar year 2016. For the levy, against the levy. Section 9, this resolution is declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of the public health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the Village of Lakemore. This legislation must be submitted to the Board of Elections before August 5th, 2015. Therefore, this resolution shall take effect immediately. Resolution number 6619-2015. This is the first reading. A resolution adopting the updated 2015-2016 Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding for Job Creation and Retention and Tax Revenue Sharing. Whereas the loss of jobs results in social and human costs, which can be a significant burden to the area, the region, and state, and whereas the County of Summit and communities throughout the county recognize it is imperative to cooperate and collaborate with each other for the economic benefit of the region and its resident taxpayers in order to attract and retain businesses and jobs. And whereas there are many current and prospective employers who desire to remain or locate in the county of Summit, and whereas the communities further recognize that cooperation is necessary for regional prosperity and enhancement of the local tax base and to successfully compete in global markets. And whereas the county of Summit, hereinafter county, works with employers, prospective employers, and individual communities within the county to provide tax and other incentives for purposes of retaining and locating prospective employers and facilities and communities within the county. And whereas the communities further recognize that active attempts to relocate businesses from other local communities has a negative effect on economic development and growth in the region. And whereas this agreement is not intended to have any adverse impact on a business or company's decision to locate or relocate within the county, but merely addresses the relationship of government bodies that may be affected by those independent businesses' decisions. And whereas unincorporated areas within the county that are not a partner in a joint economic development district shall not be subject to the revenue sharing provisions of this agreement, either as a departing or destination community. However, those same communities shall receive the 5% additional points on grant applications and be subject to deduction of points on grant applications as more fully set forth herein. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio, Section 1, the Council of the Village of Lakemore hereby adopts the updated 2015 Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding on Job Creation and Preservation and Tax Revenue Sharing. This Memorandum of Understanding will be effective October 1st, 2015 to June 30th, 2016. Section 2, a copy of this Memorandum of Understanding is attached hereto and made part hereof as if fully rewritten herein. Section 3, Council further directs the fiscal officer to file on behalf of the Village of Lakemore the updated 2015 Summit County Intergovernmental Memorandum of Understanding on Job Creation and Preservation and Tax Revenue Sharing with the County of Summit before September 30th, 2015. Section 4, this resolution shall be in full force and effect on and after the earliest period allotted by law. Resolution number 6620-2015. A resolution authorizing the fire chief and mayor to hire Cody Ray Conley, Robert Joseph Wilson, James Ryan Paulus, and Andrew Anthony Falcone as probationary volunteer firefighter EMTs for the Lakemore Fire Department. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Section 1, the fire chief and mayor are authorized to hire Cody Ray Conley, Robert Joseph Wilson, James Ryan Paulus, and Andrew Anthony Falcone as probationary volunteer firefighter EMTs for the Lakemore Fire Department is hereby confirmed. Section 2, these employees shall serve as probationary members of the Lakemore Fire Department for a 1-year probationary period as provided in Section 5, subparagraph E of the Fire Department Manual, pending physical examination and background check. Section 3, no funds will be spent to train these employees as they possess the necessary training already. Section 4, this resolution shall take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest period allowed by law.
One more.
Ordinance number 1536-2015, an ordinance amending ordinance 1526-2014, an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Lakemore, State of Ohio, during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015. Be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Lakemore, Ohio. Section 1, the Council approves the appropriation of $36 received in emergency medical services miscellaneous for EMS training. Section 2, the Council approves to appropriate $750 deposit received by Brittany Commons Development Company for rezoning application for refund of deposit. Section 3, the Council approves transferring $8,000 from the general fund transfers out to emergency medical services transfers in to cover expenses. Section 4, the Council approves advancing $20,000 from the general fund advances out to CDBG advances in. Section 5, the Council approves increasing revenues and appropriations in CDBG $100,000 for the sanitary road improvement project engineering. Section 6, the appropriation adjustment will be made to afford expenses for 2015. Section 7, and the village fiscal officer is hereby authorized to draw warrants on the village treasury for payments from the foregoing appropriations upon receiving proper certificates and vouchers, therefore approved by the board or officers authorized by law to approve the same, or an ordinance or resolution of council to make the expenditure. It shall be provided further that the appropriations for contingencies can only be expended upon appeal of 2/3 vote of council for items of expense constituting a legal obligation against the village and for purposes other than those covered by other specific appropriations herein made. Section 8, this ordinance is hereby declared to be an emergency measure necessary for the immediate preservation of health, safety, and welfare of the citizens of the village of Lakemore, Ohio, for the reason that these appropriations are necessary for the continued operation of the village of Lakemore. Therefore, this ordinance shall go into effect immediately. That's
All right, great, thank you. All right, we'll try to get through these reports and comments quickly, because I don't know how long our one air conditioner is gonna hold out. Plus, with all these firemen around, you know there's gotta be food waiting somewhere, so we'll get through this. I have one thing tonight. We put a grant application into the county for engineering for Sanitarium Road, and this month, that's gonna go into committee review. So we're really hopeful about that. Everything looks good for us on that. It's a $100,000 grant just to do engineering for Sanitarium Road, which will put us on track to get more grant funding for Sanitarium Road. Hopefully we'll get that road repaired. So that's looking good, and I'll be happy to report something positive about it next month. Let's hear some council reports. Does anybody have anything tonight?
I just wanted to report that our next council meeting will be on Tuesday, September 8th and September 21st. But our meeting on September 8th, there's the primary election, so it's going to be held in the fire bay, since this area here will be used. And that's going to be on Tuesday, September 8th. And our next council workshop will be on August 5th at 6.
Okay, thank you. Tammy, you have anything?
Nothing.
Rich?
I do. I would just like to remind everyone that there is a free summer lunch program for children running every day from the hours of noon to 1 o'clock, and that runs every day at Lakeview Lighthouse Church, which is on Kubler Trail over in Sawyerwood, just across the lake. And the only requirements are that you be younger than 19 years old, because this is a funded program for children. So to be under 19 years of age and show up between noon and 1 o'clock any day, you can get a free lunch. Another item on my list was I'd like to remind everyone, and please ask everyone to save the date, Saturday, August 1st, from 5:30 to 9 p.m., from 5:30 to 9 p.m. is a free community barbecue, and that's going to be held at Lakemore's Dodds Park on the lake. Lakemore United Methodist Church is sponsoring it. There's going to be live entertainment there, a band is going to be there, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun, and it's free for all community, family, and friends. So please save that date. And the last date I would ask you to save is 2 weeks later. It's Saturday, August 15th, and that is it's a field day sponsored by Springfield Cares at Super Learning Center, and that runs from 2 o'clock in the afternoon until 6 o'clock that evening. And during that day, we will be raffling off, we'll have drawings for at least 4 bicycles I know have been purchased already. And we're going to give free backpacks. We hope, last year we gave out 240 backpacks chock full of school supplies. We have the list from the various schools in the area, and each backpack is going to be full of everything that you'll need to start school. We already have commitments for 250. We're shooting for 300 backpacks this year. So if you'd like to sponsor the program and help fill a backpack or two or provide any items, we'll be glad to take that. Again, that is Saturday, August 15th from 2 to 6 in the afternoon at Super Learning Center, and that's being sponsored by primarily by Springfield Cares.
Thanks,
That's it for
Rich.
me. Thanks.
Jeff?
Just a couple. RETA, the Regional Income Tax Agency, they're, again, for the second time, they're going to hold a tax subpoena program. They did that, Tracy, that was last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago. What it is, if you're delinquent or didn't know you needed to file RETA income taxes, local income taxes, that is a subpoena program to get everyone caught up and corrected. That is going to be is that a Saturday?
No, it's not all week.
Middle of the week. I'm not sure the actual day, but it's November 12th this year. And if you have not filed, you do have time until then to get your taxes filed and get that taken care of. The other one, just want to just another time to announce this. The website is up and running now. We finally got that turned on and updated. There's a few new things on there. One is you can enter your water meter reading on there now, and that will email directly to our billing department. But other than that, it's up and running, and so go and check that out.
Thanks, Jed. Josh, you have anything?
Last reminder is Councilman Snyder holds a monthly art workshop on the third Tuesday of every month, which will be tomorrow at 5 p.m. So any of the youth of the community, feel free to come and participate in some arts and crafts projects.
All right, thank you. Okay, let's move into appearing before council. Is Sherry Blair here tonight from the county? She didn't show up. Oh, hi Sherry. Come on up. Thanks for coming.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you today?
Good, thanks.
Is it okay for me to go?
Sure.
ahead? Okay.
Gotta
Sorry about
remind
that.
you, though,
I was
you have
kind of
3
tucked
minutes.
outside in the hallway. Looks like
problem.
an important event going on today.
Yeah,
so
there's some
I'll
stuff to
keep
do.
it brief.
Okay.
I'm Sherry Blair from Summit County Public Health, and I represent First Things First. And we're just here today to talk about the Summit for Kids Month that is coming up in August here. So I'm just going to read a couple items here so I make sure I don't miss anything. But for the last 6 years, First Things First has identified many important issues facing the children of Summit County. Community assessment was done to identify barrier and assets and the work in communities in pursuing funding, both public and private, to address areas of concern and implement strategies to improve early education, health, well-being of children in the Summit County. Kids Month, for August, Kids Month is a month-long awareness campaign highlighting available programming, serious health issues, and events promoting early childhood education. This year, the Kids Month Committee has made it their goal to equip every library in Summit County with information about available programs, educational resources, and safety information that they can provide to families. And I brought some of that with us today. Each week, they're going to focus on a different area, from early childhood care to education to health, behavioral, family support, and special needs. Week 1 is early learning and great beginnings that focus on kindergarten readiness. And I'm going to skip some of this because I know it's hot in here. Got lots on your agenda. Week 2 is August 10th through the 16th. That's Family Week, and that will include the Summit for Kids Symposium as well as the Summit for Kids Expo. Last year we had about 20,000 children and families come through that, so it's a great day. We'd love to see some of the kids and families from Lakemore here come. Week 3 is August 17th through the 23rd, and that's Child Wellness Week. Some of the events would include a breastfeeding shower date, which is on August 21st, and there will be a calendar, and people can add on dates if anyone's doing anything in your community that you want to make sure that gets on that calendar. Week 4 is August 24th through the 30th, and that's Child Safety Week. That's kind of my focus, and that encourages the use of safe routes to school, share information about Safe Kids Summit County, which I'm president, and such as also working on proper car seat installation, bike helmets, Cribs for Kids, which is a program for high-risk families that helps supply a pack and play, so that in case you can't afford a crib, you don't sleep with the baby, you could put the baby into a pack and play, along with safe sitters, and of course bike helmets, which are not very good about in Summit County using bike helmets for kids. And it's a very good way to help prevent injuries. So child passenger safety events and vaccines are some of the things that we're going to be doing in the Twinsburg area, and we'll be adding on as we go. So we're just asking you to visit the First Things First website for events. I know that there's a resolution I believe that you've had a first reading on, and I'm not sure if the second reading was tonight. But if you have any questions, you can contact on our calendar, which is at www.summitcountyfirstthingsfirst.com, and feel free to add any event. Let us know if you have any event going on in your area that might be a focus of any time in that month. Brought some poster and some information for you.
Thanks, Sherry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Over here.
Okay. Kelly Gardner?
I just came tonight. We are summing up we did our first annual Rock the Run for Muscular Dystrophies at the end of June. And we just want to thank all of our sponsors that we had. Chappie's Cruise Through, Dr. Nolan and Mogador Dental. Firehouse Grill was our corporate sponsor. They were awesome and backed us in many ways. Forever Fitness was right there with us. Frito-Lay, Nuts and Jewelries, Martel Electric, O'Reilly's Auto Parts, Papa John's Pizza, Schaefer's Market, Snap-on Business Solutions, Teas and Things, and Tractor Supply. In our community support, we had Mayor Rick Justice, the Rock the Docks Committee, Springfield Fraternal Order of Police, the Village of Lakemore Fire and EMS, Village Council of Lakemore, and Springfield Auxiliary Police Officers. It was an awesome run. It poured down rain from, well, we all know how much rain we had. So, but it rained the entire race. Mayor Justice walked it. Laura Cochran ran it. Rick
Next year I'm
ran
gonna run it.
So they did awesome. It was a lot of fun. We had 58 runners registered, and we had 45 actually participate, which was an excellent turnout for the pouring down rain in our very first event. And I'm very happy to announce that with everybody's support, we are turning over $1,400 to Muscular Dystrophy of Northeast Ohio. So it was very successful. So, and we look forward to doing
Right.
number 2 next year. So,
Amen.
so thank
That's
you very
outstanding.
much, everyone.
Thank you, Kelly.
First time and in the rain. That was great.
No
Great
rain.
accomplishment. Good success. All right. Donald Reinbold?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
You just signing
You're gonna give your time to C.C. Bittner then. Chief Bittner?
For those of you who don't know me, my name is C.C. Bittner, and I live on Sanitarium Road. And I've been asked to chair the fire department levy this year. And we've had a preliminary meeting, and a lot of good ideas, and a lot of good help. And we all believe that this is going to be the turning point of our village of Lakemore to get us out of fiscal emergency and maintain the fire and paramedic level that we're accustomed to having for our residents. I look forward to working with everybody. Prematurely, I'd like to congratulate Barry Saley on a job well done. And I'd also like to congratulate Sean Parcell for the good job that he's about to do. We haven't scheduled any meetings yet for the levy, but we will, and there'll be plenty of information for all of our residents through the television and through the Suburbanite and the Leader. So look forward to working with everybody and look forward to getting this levy passed. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Thanks for your help. And well said. I really agree that this is a turning point for the village. This is very important to us in many ways, and more information will be out about that soon. Okay. Let's move into old business then. Mr. Cole? No, we're going to follow the rules tonight. We have a lot of people here, so if you're not on the list, you can't speak.
Probably, you should probably keep sweeping it under the rug like you've already done.
Okay. Rich, old business, please?
He sued the city, and your name's going on it. Your people cannot do what he does. You don't do anything to him. He calls the police out.
You're welcome to leave, sir.
I will be. He calls the
thank you.
police out. He owns the bar, allowed to continue to have fights, brawls, public urination out in the parking lot, and him incite hate.
Okay, you're over. You're done. Thank you.
Go.
Okay. Sorry for the interruption. Mr. Cole.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 6610-2015, which is a resolution reappointing John Brown, George Malik, and Kathy Cliver for a 3-year term on the Lakemore Board of Zoning and Public and Building Appeals.
Second.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? They've done a great job serving so far. BZA is a tough place to volunteer, and they've done a great job. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Absolutely.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna make a Somebody make a motion to suspend regular order of business?
I'll make a motion to suspend the regular order of business at this time.
One more.
Oh, I'm sorry, we have one more old business.
Okay, I won't.
Yeah, this-
I'd like
Be
to
ready for next time.
He's
Okay,
anxious, sorry.
okay, I'm
We're gonna get to
anxious.
this special part of our ceremony.
Yes.
I'd like to make a resolution on number 6612-2015, a resolution declaring the month of August 2015 Kids Month in the County of Summit and encouraging the citizens of Summit County to join in the acknowledgement for the executive.
Second here.
Thanks, Rich. Roll call?
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
All right.
Okay, now, Ms. Scott.
Now, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the regular order of business.
Thank you.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
All right, Chief Saley, if you'd like to come up here and bring Rhett and Joseph with you.
You know, we have 3 seats up front if your family wants to come up here. Anybody? No?
Okay. I thought you were gonna swear.
I don't think you can.
Who are you doing first?
You need your glasses.
We were told that you were doing it.
Bear with us, folks.
Well, we have 3 empty seats if anybody wanna.
If anybody wants to have a seat up here,
Yeah. Tina?
Joe, repeat after me, please. I state your name.
I, Joseph Coons,
Do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will properly perform the duties as lieutenant for the village of Lakemore, Ohio,
that I will properly perform the duties of lieutenant of Lakemore, Ohio,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
skill, and knowledge.
skill, and knowledge.
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge my duties
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge my duties
for the village of Lakemore Fire Department
for the village of Lakemore Fire Department
during my continuance in said position
during my continuance in said position
as lieutenant for the village of Lakemore.
as lieutenant of the village of Lakemore.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Do solemnly swear
Do solemnly swear
that I will properly perform the duties as full-time fireman for the village of Lakemore
that I will properly perform the duties of full-time firefighter for the village of Lakemore
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
skill, and knowledge.
skill, and knowledge.
I will faithfully,
I will faithfully,
honestly, and impartially discharge my duties
I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge my duties
for the village of Lakemore Fire Department
for the village of Lakemore Fire Department
during my continuance in said position as full-time fire officer for the village of Lakemore.
during my, sorry, I got that one now.
All right, let's go. During my continuance
During my continuance
as full-time firefighter for the village of Lakemore.
as full-time firefighter for the village of Lakemore.
All right, congratulations. All right, congratulations both of you guys. Give them a round of applause. All right. I feel like we're in good hands.
I'd like to make a motion that we return to the regular order of business.
Thank you.
Second?
Roll call?
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Okay, let's move into new business then. Mrs. Coombs.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 6616, 2015. It's a resolution authorizing the mayor to accept the resignation of Barry Saley as chief of the Lakemore Fire Department. At first, I'd like to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second that.
Roll call?
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Regretfully, yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Now on the original motion?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
No.
Yeah.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Barely passed. Sorry to see you go, Chief.
All right. Can I speak?
Sure, go
All
ahead.
right. Mayor, council, members of the fire department, citizens of Lakemore, I want to thank you for the opportunity to serve the village as your fire chief. Those of you that don't know, I've accepted a promotion to the position of fire chief for the city of Worcester. This opportunity is exciting, and I look forward to the challenges of my new role, but at the same time, I have a heavy heart. My heart is heavy because I must leave the Lakemore Fire Department. For almost 15 years, I've had the opportunity to serve the community I grew up in. I've been able to care for, protect friends, family, and those who call Lakemore their home. All along, the village has provided me the opportunity to grow as a firefighter, an officer, a chief, a person, a husband, and a father. To my staff, thank you for always being willing to step up and go the extra mile. Excuse me. I know that Lakemore is a hard place to work for. We place many non-traditional demands on you, yet every day you astonish me with a level of dedication and pride for the organization. Thank you for allowing me to be part of your lives and seeing you grow into professionals. You all make me proud. To my wife and boys, thank you for putting up with me. Yeah, thank you for giving up our time and allowing me to serve. Without you, I would not be the person I am today. To the village, thank you for providing me the opportunity to enter the fire service as a volunteer. Thank you for the opportunity to develop my skills as a manager and as a leader in the fire service. Thank you for providing a work environment that may have been turbulent at times, yet looked out for the safety of its citizens and allowed me to make the needed changes to enhance our services for the entire village. As I look back and over the past almost 15 years, I feel comfortable making this transition now with the quality staff that we have in place. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to have this last bit of personal desire to create a stronger foundation of hiring new firemen and the promotion of 2 new fire officers in the full-time position to allow us to stabilize our fire department so that we can continue to provide the great service that our citizens have become accustomed to. Once again, as I look over the past 5 years as chief, we've made great strides, and once again, I feel comfortable making the transition out because we've acquired all the needed resources to allow us to stabilize. We've acquired all the hose, a new fire engine. We were able to creatively acquire the needed ambulance to keep us going for 5 years. Our firemen just got fitted for brand new turnout gear for all 28 members, and we're getting a new diesel exhaust system to create a more safe environment for our firemen and the rest of the employees working in the building. So at this time, there is no critical need for the organization for the next 5 years, other than to maintain our staffing levels, which once again is critical for the passage of the levy. But once again, if we pass that levy, it will maintain the stability of it, allow us to maintain our paramedic level of service, provide the community what they desired and asked of us, and that we as a department and council have been able to provide at no cost through the SAFER grant and the AFG grant. So once again, as my last official duty as fire chief, I guess it's not official because you already took my resignation, is to request that you all pass the levy, allow the department to stabilize and continue to provide service. This is a critical component to the organization, a critical component to the stability of the village and allowing the community to move out of the economic recession that we've been trudging through since 2008 and allow us to make a recovery and fix the critical needs that we have on our plate as we go. Mayor, council, staff, thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we suspend with the regular order of business one more time, please.
Second. Roll call?
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Okay, Chief, we have a little something for you. Barry's a smart guy. When I came in here, he was standing right by the air conditioner. It's a real lead. Where'd be? We wanted to be there. Barry, this can't explain from us, what all you've done for the village, but we have a proclamation here that I'd like to read for you. It's a mayoral proclamation. Whereas Barry Saley is resigning from the Village of Lakemore Fire Department for 14 years of exemplary service. And whereas Barry has led numerous improvement projects in the Village of Lakemore Fire Department, and whereas Barry has diligently served the Village of Lakemore with many improvement projects outside the fire department as well, and where Barry has been a dedicated fire chief for the Village of Lakemore and an example of a quality employee contributing to the health and welfare of the community. Now therefore, do I, Rick Justice, Mayor of the Village of Lakemore, appreciate and recognize Barry Saley for his service, accomplishment, and dedication to the community on this day, Monday, July 20th, 2015. Sorry to see you go. Congratulations.
Chief, on behalf of the present, future, and past firefighters, I'd like to present to you this plaque of recognition. I'd like to thank you for everything you've done for us and everything you brought the department. So, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, I didn't shake your guys. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, Chief.
Do you mind if we exit?
Not at all. Make it cooler. Thanks for all your support from the Lakemore and Springfield Fire Department too as well.
Thank you.
I'd like to make a motion that we go back into the regular order of business.
Second.
Roll call,
Is that
please.
you, Rich?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion that we adopt resolution number 6617, 2015, a resolution authorizing the mayor to appoint Sean Parcell as part-time acting chief for Lakemore Fire Department.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
That was
Yes.
to dispense with the 3 reads, I'm sorry.
Correct. Okay.
Now on the original motion.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coons?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Now I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 6618, 2015, a resolution amending resolution 6607, 2015 by directing the Board of Elections to place the additional $4.25 Mill Fire Department tax levy on the November 3rd, 2015 general election ballot, and this is to dispense with the 3 reads.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Now on the regular motion.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call?
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 6620, 2015, a resolution authorizing the fire chief and mayor to hire Cody Ray Conley, Robert Joseph Wilson, James Ryan Paulus, and Andrew Anthony Falcone as probationary volunteer firefighters, EMTs for the Lakemore Fire Department, and to dispense with the 3 reads first.
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes. Now on the original motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
All right,
That's
very
all I
good.
have.
Okay, Mr. Lance then.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt ordinance number 1536-2015. This is an ordinance amending ordinance 1526-2014, an ordinance to make appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the Village of Lakemore, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2015. I'd like to first make a motion to dispense with the 3 reads, please.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes. And on the original motion to adopt ordinance number 1536-2015, please.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Okay, for last motion, I'd like to make a motion to create a search committee for the new fire chief. Creating that committee, I'd like to have Chief Bittner as chairman and resident, Barry Saley as a facilitator, Mayor Justice, Council President Laura Cochran, and Council Fire Department Liaison Tammy Coontz on that committee.
Second.
Thanks, Rich. Roll call?
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Coontz?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mr. Lance?
Yes.
Mr. Timko?
Yes.
Mrs. Cochran?
Yes.
All right, very good. Thank you.